something that Lee really fears going into this weekend was, the expectations of others and what
Yeah.
they might think if the outcome is perhaps not being on the podium or not, achieving her goal of whatever that goal is.
Yeah.
It's even interesting though in your own language. You're saying as well that you have those fears. It's like you have
Hmm.
those fears. I might be in the first heat. I might not be performing well. Not be punching my ticket to the CrossFit Games, and I'm going to let down the people that are supporting me and try. So that is still actually something that you're dealing with even now.
Yeah, it definitely is. You know, I think I think with just the way that this year has panned out with me being in Dubai for so long, taking so long off work, taking so long away from, like my relationships with my family, with Tammy back home, and with the company and my friends. And there's a lot of things that I've basically lowered on my priority list in order to push up competing in this athletic endeavor that I'm chasing. And you know, I guess a feeling. I was speaking to Tammy about this the other day. I guess a feeling was, and still is now, is almost like a feeling of embarrassment when I don't reach my goal.
Mm.
Some people are very informed, some people are very misinformed. Oh, you're going to qualify easy. It's going to be easy for you. You'll smash it out the park, sort of thing. Very misinformed people have no idea what's going on. They just know that you're a competitor and you're pretty good and you'll probably stand a chance of qualifying. And then you have other people as well who probably ask you the same question, like, is this going to be your last year? Like you're getting a bit older now. Like, what do you want to do after this? So that definitely feeds into like some negative self chatter that happens. Um, and yeah, I've even over the last few weeks, just being in Chicago here and dropping into gyms and seeing other competitors, and this is something that I have to deal with and I have to try and work around. Is like, a lot of people will come up to me about, oh, I know who you are. Are you preparing for the CrossFit Games? I'm training whilst Lee's warming up or whatever. And if for me to stand there and be like, oh no, I'm not competing this year. They're like, why the hell are you here? I'm like, oh, I'm actually a coach this year. And they're like, oh, well, did you compete this year? Like, yeah, I tried, and I didn't make it. And you're going over like the same story over and over again to each person that comes up because there's so many competitors in the sport. Some people just forget or just don't know. So yeah, like having to deal with that, sometimes I definitely feel like almost a sense of embarrassment about that that people's perception of me um is like, you should have qualified, or why aren't you there anymore? Like, you should be there. And I totally understand that. I'm not embarrassed at my effort. I'm not embarrassed about how I held myself when I went through my competitions and my opportunities to compete. I'm not embarrassed about the steps that I've taken this year to put myself in the best position possible to succeed. But then, for sure, when these people ask that question, like, I have like the little devil on my shoulder who's saying like, "Hey, like, you're a fuck up. You didn't qualify. You shouldn't have gone to Dubai. You should have been in Hong Kong. That was all a waste of time. Why are you even in Chicago? Just fucking go back to Hong Kong. Let Lee do her thing." You know, it's
Mm.
something that I've I kind of stumbled across over the last few months. Been trying to deal with that a little bit. Um, yeah,
And how do you separate, how do you separate the opinions that matter and the opinions that don't? Because I think that's something that a lot of people fear when they
yeah,
put themselves out there. Is that, I was speaking to someone yesterday. I was fortunate enough to be interviewed um, by someone who's building a podcast and a YouTube channel. And one of the things that she was really scared of is that she knows that when she puts herself out there, she's worked in PR and marketing for her entire life, but more as like an anchor and a host. But now knowing that she's in charge of this thing, she's putting herself out there for criticism, and she's scared of that. Like, so how do you separate those two, and how do you stay, you know, how do you take the things that you should be listening to and ignore the things that you shouldn't?
yeah. I guess it comes with Brene Brown always talks about the man in the arena, or the person who puts himself out there, and people who actually understand what you're doing. Although I appreciate people asking about my journey, a lot of the time it's just like, it's a nice interaction and that's about it. I'm not actually taking much from that, apart from the
Mm,
fact that you are interested in what I'm doing. That's about it. When other people actually who know what I'm doing, who know why I'm here, and they're actually invested in my journey, those are the people whose opinions matter. For the people who are just like walking into the gym and they know that I'm at CrossFit Alliance because I'm trying to go to semifinals, and they're just like, they say whatever they say when they walk past, like, that's great, no problem. You can have your opinion, or you can have the thoughts that you have, no problem. I won't change that at all. And that's fine. I'll actually, I don't listen to it at the time, but
mm,
obviously thinking back now and listening to myself say this, it's obviously somewhere in the back of my head because it's
mhm,
creating essentially this conversation about it. Um, but yeah, I mean, at the time, I never let it affect me. I don't dwell on it. I don't think about it. It's just like another interaction with somebody. But the people who are in the arena and people who understand what I'm doing and people who are invested in my journey are the people whose opinions I would care about more.